Hey. Welcome to another edition of What You Mean News. I'm your amazing host here in Crystal Clear. We got an important video right now. Trump is cutting up. Again, do not trust this man. Do not trust this man. For some reason, he's being awfully kind to the Aboriginal melanated freemen. Okay, which is formerly known as the African American, known as black person. Okay, so right now Donald Trump is being very generous towards the Aboriginals, which is us, the brown people, and I'm going to tell you why, and I got to show you why, because it's very important. So come on in here, let's get to it. We got some business to tend to. Let's start off with this video first.
One time, I'm going to tell y'all this, and it's a common sense thing. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk can never be deported to anywhere else on the planet. Do you understand why? What's up, TikTok? What's up, all my people? Let me just tell y'all something real quick. One time, I'm going to tell y'all this, and it's a common sense thing. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk must suffer. Yeah, they do, but it's for usurpation. It's still our birthright.
Hold on.
Everybody. What's up, TikTok? What's up, all my people?
Sorry, the video is acting funny again. So let me tell you right now, Trump is on a deportation spree. Okay? He's getting rid of the people who's not supposed to be here, and that's the $5 fake Indians. And then that's also the European immigrants too as well. And let me tell you why he's cutting out his own people. Because he knows that this is Egypt. He knows that this is Kemet. He knows that this is Africa. Every white person know it. That's why they were eating the mummies. That's why they would eat our mummies. That's why they were digging up our mummies, eating our mummies. They know who we are. So now he's going to get rid of the Serbians, Eskimos, say that the Protestants and the white Anglo-Saxons brought over here to steal the land. They were $5 Pretendians. You remember that? The $5 Pretendians? Well, Donald Trump know who we are. Donald Trump need the melanated community so fucking bad that he's willing to, and check this out, I'm going to show you all the exchanges he's doing. He's going to deport the Serbian Eskimo. He's going to deport the fake $5 Indians. He's going to actually give us our land back, so that then he and the Germans can actually come in and take our land. Okay? This is very important, and you need to watch. So check this out.
So-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk can never be deported to anywhere else on the planet. Do you understand why? Don't listen to Dr. Such and Such. Everybody. What's up, TikTok? What's up, all my peoples? Let me just tell y'all something real quick. One time, I'm going to tell y'all this. And it's a common sense thing. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk can never be deported to anywhere else on the planet.
That's why when y'all hear that say, go back to Africa, yeah, no, this is Africa. Everybody's standing on Africa. Kemet is Africa. Egypt is Kemet. Kemet is Africa. Okay? We can't go nowhere. That's why Dr. Umar doing that Pan-Africanism. If you see anybody doing Pan-Africanism or Hebrew Israelite bullshit, slap them in the goddamn mouth. We are Aboriginals, Indigenous, melanated, Indians, of this land. We own this land. We are children of the sun. We are the children of the sun, and they know that, and they need this land. And right now, this land is being activated by the DNA codes. That's why the timelines are being switched. That's why time travel is happening real heavily right now. That's why you might be losing a lot of memory, but gaining new memories right now is because of the shift that is going on. Okay? And the white people are well aware of the shift because they got to hop the shift too in order to catch the wave, or either their meat suit, their disguise, is going to fall off. Okay? So.
Do you understand why? Don't listen to Dr. Such and Such. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Start with a U. Don't listen to him when he said they just want us to suffer. Yeah, they do. But it's for usurpation. It's to steal our birthrights. We're the only people here in America that can't be deported nowhere else.
That's why white people cannot be Americans. White people are of European descent. They're immigrants. Okay? They're Nordics, they're British, they're Germans. All the white people here are Scottish, British, German, or Nordics. Or white Anglo-Saxons, or Protestants, or Spaniards. Okay? They're Spaniards. Italians. Greeks. Them is not our folks. Okay? And so they know that. They know that, and the time is up. But Donald Trump knows that too as well. See, the smart white people, the conscious white people know that too. And they know that this land needs to be usurped because of the Kali Yuga, because of the tides that have changed and the timelines that are now in order. So now what is happening now is the universal law, universal order is coming to play, and evil is literally getting laid the fuck out. That's why the good is winning right now. That's why everybody's waking up, fighting evil, all that shit. Yeah, the tides have changed. And they know that. And Donald Trump knows he has to play by these games. He knows he has to play by the rule. That's why Donald Trump was telling everybody, oh, I'm talking with the Anunnaki. I kid you not. It's videos on the internet right now of Donald Trump talking about he had a conversation with the Anunnaki. Now, if you don't know who the Anunnaki is us. And the white people are the Nordic aliens, the Palladians. We are extraterrestrials. We are the extraterrestrials, and the white people are the aliens. That's why they keep saying immigrants, aliens, deportation of the aliens. So Donald Trump has went as too far as to say, I'm about to remove the white folks too, because they need to usurp this land. Okay? So he's about to get rid of all the fake Indians. He's about to get rid of all the European immigrants. And then, but when he does this, it's going to be a nasty tug, because he's going to bring in the Germans. That's why he moved the Germans, the fake ass white South Africans. He moved them to Alabama, and I'll explain that later. Okay, let's get back into this video.
That's because we're home. And when you're home, that means that you are what the land is.
Native.
You're American. You didn't come from anywhere else. You're not an immigrant like the rest of the population here. Don't believe these people when they tell you you're from Africa. If you want to go back there, yes, we can technically maybe call this place of Mexum extreme West Africa, before the great earthquake, before Turtle Island broke apart. But before then, we're home, and you know what that makes us. We ain't no $5 Indians. American is our birthright. When your grandmothers and your grandfathers told you that you got Cherokee in your blood, you got Wichita in your blood, you got Choctaw in your blood, you got Blackfeet in your blood, you should know that they are telling the truth. Don't let these people tell you any lies. We are like what they said in their Bible that they gave us. We've been called 99 different names. all 99 of them, other than those derogatory statements and names. But peace, y'all. Just had to drop that knowledge on y'all. For all y'all that was born in America, that's indigenous to America, it's your birthright. Now go find y'all peoples in that genealogy record.
Yes, go find your tribe. Please go find your tribe. So see how I'm from Rome, Georgia. I'm from the Cherokee Nation. The Cherokee Nation is the original United States of America. Cherokee, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee, and the Carolinas are the original United States of the Americas. Okay? That's why white people cannot be American. That's why, okay, say if like white people were like how black people were put today, they would be called European Americans. Ain't no Europe in America. That's why you can't have no African America. The continent of Africa, statistically, geographically, is where? In Africa. And Africans do not claim us. Africans will not claim us. The Africans will be the first to tell you, hey, stupid, you're not African. That's number one. This used to be Turtle Island. Okay? Turtle Island. They know that. This is Egypt. That's why the Grand Canyon is where it's at. That's why we got pyramids all over America. Why do you think Donald Trump loves staying in Florida so fucking much? Muskogee and all them. Muskogee and all them. Okay? Seminole and all them. The white folks is not stupid. They know what we have, and they know what they need to get from us to succeed. Okay? So now let's get into it. And I knew it was coming. Donald Trump was going to show his teeth, baby. He did just that. So tonight, all of a sudden, he done got it in his spirit to do so much stuff for black folks. Isn't that weird? I said, man, I ain't never seen nothing like it. I've just never, ever, ever seen anything like what he's done. And I ain't even gonna lie. Yes, he is doing us good shit right now. But why? Think about why Donald Trump is literally pardoning black folks left and right. President Trump has pardoned the famous Chicago gang leader, Larry Hoover, who's been in prison since 1973. He's going to look back and say, hey, black folks, you know, I really need you. I need to keep that Florida land, because he knows that Florida land got some really gully geechee on it. That Florida land got that geechee on it, that juju on it. He need that land just as much as we need our land. Okay? So now he's sitting up here. He's going around giving out black favors. Ain't that crazy? This man is out here giving out black favors. Now, what white man you know gonna just jump up and say, let me go free these niggas? What white man you know is just gonna jump up and say, let me free these niggas? America's stolen land, built by people who were stolen from their land. Okay? Black Indians, an Indian Heritage by William Lorne Katz. You need to read this book. Okay? There are two types of Indians. Right here we got the Crew, tribesmen, and we got the Comanche man. But you only know about one. Okay? That's the Negroid phenotype of the American Indian. Do you not see that black man right there looking like Miles Davis, the jazz blues player? That is your people. You're not from fucking Africa. You know that. And if fucking Mexicans got their shit together, if the original Latinos, Aztecs, Mayans, which is really still us, if y'all really got your shit together, you would know you're on our side too. Y'all are the Mongoloid phenotype. You're the Mongoloid phenotype of the American Indian. Okay? Then President Donald Trump had the nerve to turn around and give a full pardon to rapper NBA Youngboy. Now, let me tell you about rapper NBA Youngboy. It's a psyop. He can't rap. He can't sing. He can't dance. He's a government agent. Just like Sexy Red, just like Kevin Gates, just like Dr. Umar, just like Candace Owens, just like Charleston White. Why do you think they had Charleston White name like it is? Charleston White is the biggest snitch known to man, and he's the biggest terroristic threat to his community, and y'all keep pumping this nigga up, and I don't know why. He's never said anything good about the black man. He's never been for the black man. Hell, he don't even treat his own wife good. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Y'all fall for anything. Y'all fall for anything. And y'all let anybody lead you. That's crazy. So, the fact that NBA Youngboy is playing a role, just like Tory Lanez, just like Diddy is playing a role. It's all a distraction. The world's a stage and everybody got to play their part. And, you know, every year, just like remember with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, or with Young Thug, or with Woody, every year they give us a star-studded trial of some kind of celebrity entertainment of some sort. Okay? Because they're distracting us while they're still digging up our mummies. They're still digging up our gold. They're still digging up our land. They're usurping the land. They laying out the land. They looking at the land. Donald Trump is telling y'all, he said, hey man, I've been in talks with the Anunnaki. Because you know why? He's taking his fucking land. It's a land grab. Time is up. The spell has been broken. You remember in Roanoke, Virginia, the spell 600 years ago, we was to be enslaved for 600 years. The spell is up. We can't be enslaved no more. So now Donald Trump and all the white people who released that curse on us have to give us a fair fighting chance. And this is where we win and get our land back. So now Donald Trump needs allies. And the last enemies he needs is not the Negro community. It's not the Aboriginal, melanated, indigenous community. He don't want us as no goddamn enemy. So this nigga think he out here go freeing up all our friends. Baby, if you want to free somebody, go free these innocent men, these innocent melanated men. Go free them. Go give us our 40 acres and our mule. Go give us our land back. It's enough land out here to share, and we can cut you in on Mar-a-Lago. But we got to give Mar-a-Lago back to the original Seminole owner so that they can decide your fate. We can't decide that fate for you. And I'm pretty sure with the way things is going and how forgiving we are, somebody will provide you a little bit of piece of Mar-a-Lago so that you can keep your magic that you've been brewing and cooking and stewing with. Okay? This is spiritual warfare, which y'all don't understand. This goes so deeper than what you ever fucking know. All right? So Donald Trump is out here giving pardons, bitch. He's out here giving black favors. I've never seen anything like it. That's why you've seen NBA Youngboy clone so many times. He always has a different face every time you see him. Trump immigration raid snag U.S. citizens, including Native Americans, raising racial profiling fears. Nope. He's not dumb. Because let me show you the fake ass $5 Indians. Look at this. Look at this. Look what they've been doing. Look at this. White folks pretending to be the Cherokee tribe, the Cherokee nation. Look at this. White folks, Madison State Senator, claiming to be a Cherokee Indian. Choctaw Nation right here. Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma tribal members named right here. See, no, real Aboriginal indigenous people come from the what? The 13 tribes that are in the South. They moved us to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears. Okay? See all these white folks, look, especially him. Nigga, you know good and damn well you ain't Cherokee. You know good and damn well you ain't no kind of Cherokee to save your life. This is the Cherokee Nation chief. Get the fuck out of here. No, the fuck it's not. Despicable. Deplorable. Despicable. Deplorable. That's Serbian. That is a Serbian Eskimo. That is an Eskimo. You know what an Eskimo look like. That is a white man. Look at his recessive gene trait in his eyes. His eyebrows are blonde. He's been dyeing his hair pretending to be a Cherokee. And that's a white man. That is a white man. Donald Trump knows this. And guess what Donald Trump did? He said, okay. Donald Trump said, okay, this is what we're doing. Here's some more white people pretending to be Indians. See that? And it keeps going on. It's really bad. It's so bad. And so what's going on here, Donald Trump said, yeah, we kind of know that you are not, in fact, the original Aboriginal Indian. That's why Trump said, them Serbians gotta go. Gotta go. This was just a few days ago. Trump immigration raid snagged U.S. citizens, including the Native Americans, raising racial profiling fears. We are not Native Americans. We are Aboriginal. And I don't even like saying the word Aboriginal because the word Aboriginal, A-B, means away. We are the original, okay? And they know it. That's why Donald Trump is out here giving nigga favors. You feel me? Trump said foreign enemy Obama faced a military trial as government documents expose citizenship fraud. He's getting all of the immigrants out of here. He's not playing no more because he needs this land just as much as we need this land because our contract is up. The year the Geechee is here, baby. The year the Geechee is here. And he don't want no parts of that Geechee coming. The Geechee got it. The Gullah Geechee coming. He don't want no parts of that. Now, it's so bad that he's about to start deporting the white folks. Supreme Court rules children born to illegal aliens and tourists are not U.S. citizens. Whoop. Whoop. So you mean to tell me the whole entire time that the white folks are really the British and they're the immigrants? That's what I got to quit saying. I'm a patriot. I'm American. No, you're not. Donald Trump just labeled y'all as illegal aliens. His own people. Donald Trump just turned on his own people because he knows how much of important we are as a people to him. He know he needs us. I can't make this stuff up. And when we get down into it, former Biden staffer says white South Africans should go back to Germany. Now here's where Donald Trump gets dirty. Here's where Donald Trump gets dirty because if you haven't been paying attention, let me see if I can find this real quick. Here we are. White people are Nordic aliens, and that's why we are the Anunnaki, and that's why Donald Trump said he's been talking to the Anunnaki for a minute now. In ufology, the study of alleged extraterrestrial beings and life forms visiting Earth, which are the Nordic aliens. That's why white people can't stand in the sun. They're not the children of the sun. They're not human. Human is spelled with a H-U-E. And then the white people wanted to feel inclusivity, so they dropped the E and they spell humans H-U-M-A-N-S. You get it now? So, Nordic aliens or tall whites are Vikings. Vikings, think Vikings, okay? Are among the names given to one of the several purported humanoid races hailing from the Pleiades star cluster. And this is in the Bible. The Pleiades are in the Bible, as they reportedly share superficial similarities with Nordic, Germanic, or Scandinavian humans. Alleged contactees describe Nordics as being somewhat taller than the average human, standing roughly 6 to 7 feet tall. Okay? That's why their skin tone is so pasty like it is. Now, the Nordic aliens are extraterrestrial visitations from such being. That's why it's called colonization. That's why colonization is very important. See, y'all are not putting this shit together. Y'all thinking, oh, aliens, extraterrestrials, UFOs. No, sweetheart. It's as simple as that. It's us. Let me go ahead and pull up. What was I about to pull up? Oh, Donald Trump with the Anunnaki. Okay. News about Donald Trump is talking with the Anunnakis. You see this? Trump confronts South African leader with baseless claims of the systematic killing of white farmers. See that? Do you see what's going on here? Do you understand what's going on here? This is a spiritual warfare. It is a spiritual warfare, and it's extraterrestrials versus aliens. It's gods versus demons. It's good versus evil. Oh, you thought I was playing about Donald Trump really talking to the Anunnaki? No, I'm not playing. Now, the Nordic beings, the scholars note that the mythology of the extraterrestrial visitations from such beings with physical features superficially described as Aryan nation, that's why they're doing that Aryan nation bullshit, often make mention of telepathy, benevolence, and physical beauty and grace. However, many purported alien extraterrestrial encounters also involve some degree of telepathy serving as the primary communication with the human being. Okay. Anybody remember Operation Paperclip? Operation Paperclip was a secret United States intelligence program in which more than 1,600 German scientists, the Nazis. See, your granddaddy and them lied to you when they said World War I and World War II was about fighting them Nazis. As Brad Pitt would say on Inglourious Bastards, they was out them fighting them Nazis. So World War II was a lie and a scam, and it was a bunch of white men bringing the German scientists in to create NASA. And guess where they brought them in? They brought them in over in Alabama. So guess where Trump is bringing in the South African immigrants to? Alabama. You get it now? They're Germans. There's no such thing as a white South African. That's an immigrant. That is a Germanic immigrant. And that's what I need people to understand. You are your nationality. Just because you were born somewhere doesn't mean that's your home. That means that was the spot that you decided to pop a squat and release your energy force. That's not where you're from. You're from, number one, your constellation. Then number two, your nationality and your tribe. I don't know why y'all keep thinking this. But just because you were born in America, that doesn't make you an American. That just makes you an immigrant. And it doesn't make you a dual citizen. Whatever your family heritage, nationality, and tribe is, that's what you are. That's why it's called your bloodline. You are your bloodline. Stop playing. Okay? Operation Paperclip is where a bunch of white folks lied to you and told you World War II was big. But they were just taking Nazi German soldiers and bringing them over here in Alabama, and they created NASA. World War II is where we created NASA. Now, even when the white folks did sneak over here in 1000 AD, it was, guess who it was? The Nordic aliens, the Norsemen. They came over here. They found Vinland. They found their little Newfoundland. And they found their little stuff. This was considered the first documented European contact with Native Americans. They wasn't bothering us. They came over here. They said, nice land. And they took off. They left. But when they left, they went back and they plotted. They said, man, you know, that land was so good over there. We got to go back. But that was in 1000 AD. And then 1492 is where the Spaniards came over and they really facilitated things. You see, they plotted that for 4,000 years of how to get back over here to take this land. That's why we have the Minnesota Vikings, okay? That's why we now have the Minnesota Vikings, okay? It's called European colonization of North America. Oh, that's what I was pulling up, colonization. So when the aliens, breaking news, a new COVID variant is here. So when the Nordic aliens came to this earth to colonize, the action or process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. Okay? That's why so many aliens, extraterrestrials, and so many beings that are not supposed to be in this realm keeps going to this earth to colonize it and take it over, because there is no God here. Stop pretending that God is in hell. This is hell, boo-boo. God does not live in hell. Hell, you can barely survive in hell. Be for real. Be for fucking real. And that's why the world was on one tectonic plate from the beginning. And that's why you are the indigenous peoples of the Americas. That's why white people cannot be an American. They're immigrants. They came off the boats. And nobody knows this, but the only people that came off the boats are the Russian, Italian, Irish, German, Nordic, Scandinavian, Romanian, British immigrants. And you know this to be true because remember what Paul Revere said. The British are coming. The British are coming. The British are coming. That's white folks. So every white person in America is British. They're immigrant. Be for real. They're Germanic, British immigrants. Scottish immigrants. Okay? Getting a little winded, but I wanted to get this video out because it's very important, because I caught Donald Trump doing what he was doing, and I just needed to get this video out of here. Okay, I'm gonna break this video down some. It was really longer, but I was trying to see if I can come back to the news, and I'm not strong enough to come back to the news. But I'm tired of sitting in this bed. Man, I've been here 4 fucking weeks, and I'm just, bitch, you hear me? I'm ready to come home. Ready to get back to my news. But I had to do this fucking video because Donald Trump is tripping out. So, white folks was really so bold, and that's why lynching started, because they did the Indian Removal Act. Okay? They did the Indian Removal Act. Shit. I'm slowing down. My bad.
When you are born as an American citizen, you are taught the Pledge of Allegiance. You're taught to worship the flag. You're given a social security number and a birth certificate. You then go into an education system that does not allow you to freely think.
That's how you know America is a cult. It's a business. Okay?
Europeans come to this continent, literally ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence, kill them on a scale that has hardly been equaled, and refer to them as savages. That's an achievement. Who's a savage? The first time I encountered this was in a little town in Massachusetts called Deerfield. It's a reconstruction of what that little town looked like
I knew it. They were going to come in here and tell me I'm doing too much. And I am. Because I'm getting too winded. And telemetry can see it on the fucking machine.
And in front of each house is a plaque that explains little town looked like in Congo. A little town has hardly been equal and nation out of existence. Kill them on us. Literally, ethnically cleanse the indigenous population out of existence. Kill them on a scale that has hardly been equal and refer to them as savages. That's an achievement. Who's the savage? The first time I encountered this was in a little town in Massachusetts called Deerfield. It's a reconstruction of what that little town looked like in colonial America. And in front of each house is a plaque that explains something about this house. And then description. On the 18th of October of 1702, the savages attacked. The first time I saw this, the savages. You come in here, destroy everything these people have, and they are the savages. That's an interesting move.
It is.
You know?
I hadn't thought of that before.
Think about it.
When the white people are starting to tell the truth,
Europeans come to this continent.
you already know what time it is.
Literally, Europeans come.
Not in the Bible, but people think it is. White folks.
Bitch, I got in trouble because my heart rate going up. Got in trouble. Anyway, I'm going to try to be quick. Shit. That's why white people can't be Christians. Because white people are not in the Bible. White people have never been in the Bible. But let's take a look.
Not in the Bible, but people think it is. White folks. Not in the Bible, but people think it is. White folks. Not in the Bible.
I screenshot. I have.
All y'all in here that are commenting, I screenshot.
Now, do you see this Eskimo right here? This is the $5 Pretendians. When I get better, I'm going to redo this video over because I got a lot of history. I'm basically doing American history, and I'm going to rewrite this history. I'm going to actually rewrite it in a book for you, and then that way we'll have our original history on document. Okay, we'll have it documented, and we're going to rewrite history together. So when I get better and they tell me I can start performing more, I'm in trouble now because I'm doing videos. So, but I'm just tired of sitting here, man. I'm ready to get back to work. Even though I'm not able to get back to work, I miss doing the news. But this is a Serbian, and they know that they're not the real indigenous Aboriginal people of this land, okay? So pay attention. Eyes up.
I have a secondary person. They're in another room. They screenshot all your accounts. So we put you on a watch list because you're waking up. You're starting to wake up. You're starting to realize that you're the original Americans, and we can't be having that. So that's why we put a lot of y'all leaders in jail and stuff for SEXUAL, ABUSCE of MINORS. Catch them. You know, we plant fake evidence on them. You know, a lot of y'all leaders that first started out in the 2019s and 2020s and 21s are now sitting in federal and state penitentiaries because they don't know how to keep their hands off a little KIDS. A lot of y'all leaders that have...
Now, I really don't believe this.
Came out saying this 9 ether supremacy bullshit.
Now, I really don't believe that. If you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. Okay? Because you got Bobby Hemmett, one of the greatest leaders of all time. Phil Valentine, Brother C. Freeman. You got me. You got me. You ain't never seen us touch no kids. And we spit the best knowledge ever. So cut that shit. No. If you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. Bobby Hemmett has the greatest mind known to man. Brother C. Freeman, greatest mind known to man. Phil Valentine, greatest mind known to man. Credo, Utois, Credo, okay? Greatest mind known to man. Marcus Garvey and all them. They didn't touch no kids, but that pedophile shit is what that pedophile shit is. And then when they had that power, they started playing with them children because they thought, oh, I ain't gonna be touched. I ain't gonna be that Rashard Jamal and all that bullshit. No, you just don't go touching children. And Bobby Hemmett is stronger, better, wiser, smarter, more knowledgeable than Rashard Jamal, but he ain't been touched. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Y'all fall for anything.
They like the 9 YEAROLDS. So, yeah.
You're waking up. They don't want you waking up. Because if you do, you'll get your land back. They need to usurp this land. Supreme Court backs Trump as...
So the countless Venezuelans in Florida, many of whom voted for Trump because of his tough stance on immigration, are now having...
Not in the Bible, but people...
Supreme Court backs Trump as 350,000 Venezuelan migrants face deportation as protections lifted. They're about to do another ethnic cleansing. They're going to clear the land out. They're going to clear America out again, and they're going to rebuild it. Literally, that's why that Build Back Better bullshit came from. Now you're catching on, ain't you? Yes, you're catching on. Okay. That's why Donald Trump would rather have, and this is an AI picture. That's fake AI. That's a clone. You see how bad his top lip is? Yeah, that's fake. That's why Donald Trump would rather have allegiance with the Aboriginal original people than the fake people. You see why he's trying to do so much for black people right now? Oh, he in his bag right now. I ain't even gonna lie, this nigga in his bag, but do not trust him. He's the father of vaccines. Do not trust him.
So there's countless Venezuelans in Florida, many of whom voted for Trump because of his tough stance on immigration, are now having second thoughts.
Well, some Venezuelans say they feel betrayed by the Trump administration, and they want to make it clear the majority of Venezuelans are not criminals.
Like so many other Venezuelans, she cheered when Donald Trump was elected. She's a Venezuelan immigrant, now terrified of being deported. Are you afraid of your son walking to school?
Yes, truly, yes.
What are you afraid of?
That they'll pick him up and he won't have time to call me.
You supported Donald Trump, even though you couldn't vote for him.
Yes, I believe there is a large community of Venezuelans who did. And this was a hard blow because practically the same day he took office, he went against Venezuelans. It seemed personal.
Conditions have not changed. Actually have getting worse.
Girl, you can't even speak English. Number one, y'all, it's too many of y'all in Florida. Florida has magical powers. That land has very magical powers. And Donald Trump loves that land so much, he's willing to ethnically cleanse that land and get y'all the fuck out of there. That's why you're not understanding. But the year the Geechee is here. The Gullah Geechee, which is all them Floridians down there, the Seminoles down there, the Muskogee down there, it's real. The magic of the land is real. And Donald Trump has felt that power, and he wants to keep that power. That's why he won't come out of Florida. You know, he's from New York. He's an Irish-German from New York. What he doing down in Florida if the power wasn't so real, if the Geechee and the Gullah Geechee wasn't so real down there? Huh? He know what is going on. But it's too many Cubans, it's too many Venezuelans, it's too many immigrants down there in Florida, and he can't really use it like he want to. So he got to remove you.
At a press conference in Doral Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
So this comes as Venezuelans in Florida, many of whom voted for Trump because of his tough stance on immigration, are now having second thoughts.
Well, some Venezuelans say they feel
Sure why this isn't all over the American news. It's all over the Mexican news. 17 members of the Sinaloa cartel, all of El Chapo's family, turned themselves in yesterday to the FBI in San Diego. And I don't hear anything on it here or anyplace else. It's a really big frickin' deal. I don't know why it's being kept quiet here. Not sure why this isn't all over the...
So folks, as you may know, a group of Afrikaners, white South Africans have come over to the United States this week, and it's first load of South Africans to assist and help revitalize the farming industry in the United States, and it's quite controversial, as you know. Well, Donald Trump is very disappointed to find out that this group of people who just came over this week actually have no farming experience. They have no knowledge of farming, and none of them actually had farms in South Africa. When they found out that they were actually a collection of security guards, actually part-time rappers, and a guy called Bradley who almost bought a tractor once. So this is obviously a real disappointment, PR exercise failure for the Trump administration. There was even one gentleman that thought irrigation was a TikTok challenge. Folks, the source for this is the BBN. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I would love you guys to give me a follow.
Yeah, you see, Trump, just like they did with World War II, they're going to sneak them Germans back into Alabama. That's why he's moving them South Africans into Alabama. And they know who them people were. They knew they weren't farmers, and they still did it any fucking way.
We can ask you, if your lands were so great, why didn't you stay in them? Why did you go all around the world, invade our countries, occupy our countries, colonize our countries? Why couldn't you stay where you were if it was so brilliant and so wonderful? I mean, why are there 20 million people of British and European descent even in Australia to begin with, if the West is so wonderful? You came to our shores long before we ever came to your shores, and you brought nothing but ruin and misery. So you can't blame us for trying to escape what you caused, what you brought. You took everything from us, and then when we try to go to where you took everything of ours, you vilify us. You say we are illegal immigrants. We are illegal for trying to escape your crimes. You took everything from us.
My bad. Hold on 1 second.
Try to go to where you took everything of ours.
$5 Pretendian Indians exposed. If you don't know who Dane Calloway, you are late in the game. You need to get there. That is your first teacher. That is your first teacher. You see how we got good men? Dane Calloway ain't no pedophile. He's been teaching this shit forever. You see that Rashard Jamal bullshit y'all talking about? The Rashard Jamal ain't no pedophile. Dane Calloway is way more intelligent, way more versed, way more into the game. He's up there with the big. He's up there with the top. He's up there with the top 5. Are you kidding me? You don't see them trying to pin no pedophile allegations on him. Real men, real teachers like myself and these other men, we don't touch children. We don't harm children, and we don't play that bullshit. And we would never, ever, ever get caught up in such a game as such. So let's be for real. And then Rashard Jamal is spitting out the same information that everybody else is spitting. He ain't spitting out nothing new under the sun. We got the same information, and we all got it from Bobby Hemmett first, Phil Valentine first, Credo Mutua first. We got it from fucking Marcus. We got it from everybody else first before Rashard Jamal came along. Be for real. A pretendian is a pejorative colloquialism describing a person who has falsely claimed indigenous identity by professing to be a citizen of a Native American or First Nation tribal nation, or to be descended from a Native American or a First Nation. Okay? That's why in these movies you keep seeing the same fake-ass Indians. All right? The Dawes Act, officially known as the General Allotment Act, was enacted on February 8, 1887. Its primary aim was to assimilate Native Americans into American society by distributing tribal lands to individual Native Americans, thereby promoting individual land ownership and farming in the white man's image. The act resulted in the loss of approximately 90 million acres of land. We lost 90 million acres. We lost Black Wall Street. We lost everything. We lost the entire United States of America. Okay? That's why the Dawes Act of 1887 was the Indian land for sale. They put the land up for sale. Get a home of your own. Easy payments. Perfect title. Possession within 30 days. Okay? It was all a trick. And they got us. That's why whitewashing of our nation came in, and that's when they went and got the Serbians down here. And that's when they went and got the Venezuelans down here. And they went and got all these immigrants from all over the place. That's why they talk about borders and, 11/11. That's why they was talking about borders and all that stuff, sweetie. Because they needed to whitewash this land so they can keep it. That's why your history has been whitewashed, and that's why I'm going to rewrite it for us so we know who is who and what is what. But white Americans, Germans, or British? Germans had more immigrants, but because the British were here earlier, they've had more time to multiply and may have had more descendants. The answer of which the group has more descendants today is one that can only be estimated, that no one ever agrees with this topic comes up. It's Germans. All right, let me get us back to where we were.
Sure why this isn't.
So, folks, we can ask you, if your lands were so great, why didn't you stay in them? Why did you go all around the world, invade our countries, occupy our countries, colonize our countries? Why couldn't you stay where you were if it was so brilliant and so wonderful? I mean, why are there 20 million people of British and European descent even in Australia to begin with, if the West is so wonderful? You came to our shores long before we ever came to your shores, and you brought nothing but ruin and misery. So you can't blame us for trying to escape what you caused, what you brought. You took everything from us, and then when we try to go to where you took everything of ours, you vilify us. You say we are illegal immigrants. We are illegal for trying to escape your crimes. You took everything from us, and it's illegal for us to go to where you took it. And the fact that you could take it, the fact that you are successful criminals, you think that that makes you a great so-called civilization. While you're nothing but criminals. Nothing but pirates and marauders, thieves and mass murderers. You pave over the bodies of your victims, and then you brag about your infrastructure. Thing, we can ask you if you...
Time has come that we must ask ourselves, what are we teaching at our universities? If it is in engineering, you go to many engineering schools in Africa.
Okay.
African Americans built this nation. You built this thing. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Americans built this.
Did you hear that? He said African Americans built this nation. Donald Trump needs the indigenous, aboriginal, melanated people so bad that look here, he's all of a sudden jumped ships, and now he's out here on the black folks side. That's crazy work, huh? Nasty work. He's the only white man to get up here and say, yeah, you know, this is their country. They built it. They're just now starting to get credit for it. They're just now starting to get credit for it. That's big. That's big because he knows the importance of this land and he knows the importance of Florida. Okay?
Nation. You built this thing. African Americans built this nation. You built this thing. You know, you're just starting to get real credit.
He said, we. So when did you become a nigga? Hold on. He said, we. Listen here, there is something brewing, y'all. There is something brewing. They're creating this race war that they got to deal with that's about to come up. But he said, we. Okay, so when do we invite you to the barbecue? You're not coming to our fucking barbecue. Sorry, Donnie, but no, I don't care how many reparations you hand out. You're not coming to this fucking barbecue. Get on somewhere. Stop inviting people to the damn barbecue. They can have their own.
Credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right?
What I tell you, my next scroll was this one. So if you watch my previous post and you see that this one is my next scroll, there is something in the wind. It's not my algorithm. I assure you that I tune my things that are more aligned with the things that I talk about. This is something that's being set up. Pay attention.
Pay attention. They coming. They is coming. All right, that's why the white folks keep saying, you see the Confederate flag? The Confederate flag belongs to us. All right, hold on, let me put this in. The Confederate flag is the Iroquois flag of our people, not white people. They keep stealing every fucking... White people, will y'all please stop stealing everything? You see, the Iroquois Confederacy of the Aborigine American people, Indigenous. That is our motherfucking flag right there. White folks, let it go. It doesn't even belong to you. Okay? Please stop. There's so much history that I have to teach you, and I'm sorry that I'm so short of breath. While being Negro, black, colored, and African American is slavery in the 21st century, Indians. We've been reclassified so many times. And then that's why the Georgia State Universities, 3 corporations own nearly 38,000 homes in the Atlanta metro area, because I told you the takeover is coming. The takeover is coming. They want to usurp this land, and they want to get us off this land, okay? So we have to be really, really careful at how we go about this, okay? So that's going to end it here today with this video, but I had to show you what Trump was up to before he got out of hand and before I let this video slip me by. And then before they give me them damn pain meds and all that goddamn medicine to slow my heart down, bitch. Mama wouldn't have been no good. Mama wouldn't have been no good. So I had to get this video out. Now you know what's going on. Now you know what's brewing. Be vigilant. Be alert, okay? Now's not the time for you to go back to sleep. Now's not the time to hit the snooze button. They're here. And I got to lead this war. I got to lead this war. I am your general. And we don't lose, baby. We're never going to lose, all right? So fall in line. Let's get this war going and take back what's ours. And I'm going to get us our land. I'm going to get us our 40 acres and our mule. I'm going to get us our reparations. Hell, I even got to get white folks reparations too because they went through COVID. Okay, COVID is a form of genocide and eugenics, so they get reparations there too. Then they went through 9/11 as well. See, we all are owed money, but you white folks ain't owed land. You don't get land, but we can give you land. So much land out here that everybody can be happy, equal, segregated to where we are all safe and happy. Okay, so there's that. I'm fighting for everyone. Okay, I'm fighting for the side of good. I'm not fighting for the side of evil. And sometimes on the side of good, we do have good white people who want to fight for us. And I just showed you a plethora of white people like, no, we tired of colonism. We tired of this shit. We got more white people standing up for us, with us today than we ever did. And now it's the time to fucking overthrow the government and move. Now it's time to move, okay? Now, we don't fuck with them white folks who are racist. We don't fuck with them white folks that are still stuck in the Klan. We won't do it. That's pure evil. We ain't got to, and then you got black people who are pure evil like that. All skin folk ain't kin folk. Okay? So be careful out here in these streets. But I love you. I got to get off here. I'm already got in trouble by telemetry. So I do what I can, little by little. Little by little. But get on out of here. If you want to make a donation to What You Meme News, help me pay my rent so I don't get evicted because I've been here too fucking long. That would be great. I'll leave the link in the comments below. Also, if I owe you an order, just know you get viral reject free for the rest of your life. If you just let me make it through this thing, and when I get home, number one, I'm gonna find the cure for fucking asthma. Number two, I'm going to make sure that I take care of you and all your orders. If your order is late because I've been hospitalized for the last 4 weeks, you get viral reject free for the rest of your life, okay? And I appreciate you. If you just want a refund, let me get up this money some way, somehow to get you a refund, okay? I promise I'm going to make good on all my debts, on all my collections. I'm not a bad business owner. I'm just in a position right now where I can't leave. It's a danger to my health. Asthma is so bad that it triggers tachycardia. Heart rate goes up, oxygen goes down. So it's dangerous. I can't even walk to the bathroom without my heart rate shooting through the roof. So I'm trying to get better. And then insurance denied me today. Insurance denied my fucking... it's fucked up. It's fucked up right now, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to keep going. If I get evicted, I get evicted. Find another place. So, but I thank you for standing by me and supporting me and appreciating me like you do. And I appreciate you too, okay? That's my cue to go. I'm out the door. Love you. Trump is up to something. I just showed you. Pay attention. Stay vigilant. Put a layer of protection around yourself. It's been another edition of What You Meme News. If you'd like to donate to keep this show going, because it's my only job, I'll leave the link in the bottom of the comments. You can hit me up. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.